You having a lot of technical difficulties today.
Well, I haven't done this in a while. This is what happens when you don't do it in a while. And I've also using slightly different equipment. We have a slightly different setup. We got the
Are we back to recording now?
I'm always recording. We're always recording.
Always be recording. I just maintain that you're nervous because it's me.
I did not. I cannot dispute
He's
that.
stuttering over his words.
I cannot dispute that. You are definitely the most luxurious guest we've had on this podcast
Oh my God.
thus far, and the most elusive.
Elusive?
Yeah, because you've lived in New York, you've lived in New Orleans, you've lived in Austin. Was it Austin or was it Houston?
Like 30 miles outside of Austin and Leander. And then I came back. I was only out there for a month. Then I came back.
Were you in like witness protection program or something?
Sure, let's say that.
Let's say that. So how did you get started with the TikToks and the social media scientists? Because you're kind of like, and like, what's the name of your business again?
Rewind Social Media.
Rewind Social Media. We're going to edit that. Rewind Social Media. Mm-hmm. And so how did you get started down this route?
Right. So it started during COVID. You know, I used to be a teacher. I was a teacher for a long time. And then we got punished. We got sent inside. And so that's when I really started getting into content creation. I had always had a big interest in it, but just never really had time because, you know, being an educator in these systems, it takes a lot out of you. So I had done the YouTube before, but I didn't really feel comfortable with it. Like, I just didn't like looking at myself on camera, which is so far from where I am now. Literally obsessed with myself. But we were inside and I was bored. My students had downloaded TikTok on my phone because I was just like, I stick to the rivers and lakes that I'm used to. Okay, I'm an Instagram girl. I'm a Facebook girl. Twitter. But they were like, look at TikTok. So I looked at TikTok, didn't really do anything. It would just scroll it every now and then. But then I just started making content just because it was fun. Yeah. And eventually I just started building a platform. People were like, I like what she has to say. And then I just started gaining traction from there.
And so how many videos did it take for you on TikTok before you thought, okay, I kind of know what I'm doing here? And when I say kind of know what you're doing, it's like, one, there's the idea of, you know, how to pick your video. And there's also the idea of just like working the mechanics of editing. I can't edit on TikTok at all. It takes me forever to do that.
Yeah. So at first I was clueless. I couldn't figure out the editing. I was like, I just have to do this in one clean shot or it's not happening. Because I just did not understand how to edit. I didn't understand how people were getting certain clips of the sounds. Because I'd be like, I want to use the sound, but then I couldn't find a clip that I want because I just had no idea how to do it. But it's the thing that takes practice. And once I started practicing and figuring it out, I would even, because I'm very much a person who's like, I have to know how to do this or it will drive me insane. Yeah. So I was on YouTube looking at tutorials. I was Googling things. I was finding tutorials inside of TikTok to show me how to do these things. And then once I learned that way, I was like, cool, I got it. TikTok is ever evolving, so the editing does change from time to time. But I wouldn't say that there's a certain video where I was like, I got this locked, because I'm always learning something new about how to do it, how to clean something up, how to transition something. I'm always learning. But it's just about getting in a learning spirit is the thing that I tell clients all the time.
And so, like, that's like one of the things we try to talk about here, because we don't actually have a theme to this podcast. That's how this podcast started. One of the things is I'm supposed to like ask people what my podcast should be about.
What should your podcast be about?
Like, because this is not the actual podcast. This is the preparatory podcast. This is my practice podcast. Like, this is me going through the TikTok rigmarole of doing this. So this sucks. The lighting's not right. Oh, I don't know how to edit. Oh, why does the crayons look like this? Y'all didn't know I knew what a crayon was, and I know I'm saying that word wrong, but you know what I'm talking about. How do you do this? And so that's what we're doing here, and I love that you're talking about that with TikTok. But then there's the other side of like the actual, once you have the hardware, the physical editing and all that stuff, and you're getting competent at that, then it's the topic of how do you know what to make a TikTok about?
My go-to is to make content about what resonates with you. My biggest thing is make content in the spirit of authenticity, because you can get online and you can manufacture a personality. Go for it. Do it. People will see clean through it, and you will also fatigue. If you're getting on there every day, because there are some content creators who do 3 or 4 pieces of content a day, which is insane. 0 out of 10 do not recommend, unless you batch them, but that's a whole nother conversation. But I'll just say go in talking about what you know. One of the first videos that I made that did really well was I was talking about clothes. I really love clothes. I don't think I'm the best dresser in the world, but I love clothes. And I had a really, really deep feeling, deep opinion about this particular brand. And I said something about it. It was a quick 7-second video. It went nuts. And I was like, wow, didn't expect that. That's crazy. And then I made another, the one that helped me get like my last influx of followers. It hasn't happened again, but that's because I've been super inconsistent lately. Yeah. I was talking about all the reasons that I'm pretty sure I'm undiagnosed ADHD. And that one went like over 200,000 views.
200,000.
I mean, and to me, that's still like nothing because I've seen people with 1 million views. But it was huge for me because I was like, I just be on here talking. I'm just a girl.
I think on this YouTube page, we're not going to count some of the other videos I do, but on this YouTube page, for this podcast, I think the most views we got from one is 150, and that's awesome to me.
No, that's great. You should celebrate small wins.
Well, yeah, man. Whenever we hit 100, we have 2 that hit 100, and we have another one that's just like it's like circling around 100 right now. So I'm ready to announce that. But yeah, 200,000. That's the big leagues. That's the majors.
That's what the folks say. They're
like, in the game
that's a big
at that
deal.
point.
I mean, I literally went from maybe 5,000 followers to 12,000 in the course of 2 or 3 days. Yeah. Because I posted it and then it went nowhere for a while. It was like 400 views, not a whole lot of engagement. I posted on maybe a Thursday, went about my life, and I kind of had a feeling. I was like, this seems to be a hot topic, and it's just what I'm feeling. We'll get back to that too. And then Saturday, I went out about my life, was hanging out with friends the whole day. And then my phone is just buzzing. I was like, what's going on? Every time I opened the app, 99 plus. Wow. Followers coming in. And I was like, I don't know what's going on, what's happening here right now. But yeah.
There was a part where you said you were going to come back to that. What was that point?
What was it? Oh, ADHD.
That undiagnosed ADHD. There you go again. So if anybody has any questions, that's what it looks like right there. That's it. And
if I don't talk about it right then,
I'm gonna come right back to it. 5 seconds. What's that thing you were gonna come back to? I have no idea.
I don't remember.
What were we just talking about? Okay.
No, for real. Wait. Okay, I know we were talking about content. Was it content batching? Was that?
Content batching. Okay. That's what it was.
So content batching, you can definitely push out 3 or 4 pieces of content a day if you take a day to record every single thing that you want to publish for the week. Every single day. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people get caught up in oh my God, I have to wear different clothes. No, you don't.
No, boo-boo.
Set up that camera and start recording your ideas. Get it together. I think people generally approach content creation in a way that's not as sustainable as they could. Mm-hmm. I think people are just like, it's work. No, if you look at it as work, it's going to feel like work. You're not going to want to do it. My whole jam now is doing everything sustainably. Yeah. I don't necessarily believe that you have to post every day. I don't believe that. I think you should post consistently. So if that looks like, I'm going to post once a week, post once a week. If I'm going to post 3 times a week, post 3 times a week. There's nothing wrong with that. You show up sustainably, but you make quality content. Don't go up there just, like some people, and I wouldn't even say that because they know very clearly who their audience is. And they know how to say something that's going to drive a crowd. Mm-hmm. So show up authentically yourself, and you're going to find your audience. And some of it might just be talking head videos. You don't necessarily have to teach, but you should always entertain. You should always bring some type of value.
Okay, now it's becoming like a glossary now. because we had to go back to bundling. What was it?
Batching.
Yeah. And then you just mentioned talking head videos. What is a talking head video?
Talking head video is just when you put the camera in front of your face.
So it's like if I were looking into the camera just like this and I was talking, would that be a talking head video?
That's what I described as a talking head video, like narrative, you know? That's what it is, talking head narrative video.
Do you do talking head videos?
All the time.
What's your your most topic that people like the most so far?
Usually mental health. People love to hear about how cuckoo I am in a brain.
You guys get in the comments and compare notes?
Listen, y'all should. I have learned, but the thing is, ADHD still pending, right? But what I do know is that I am bipolar.
Wait, do those normally come as a matching set?
For some people, yes.
Hands?
For some people, it's usually bipolar 2, ADHD, and autism.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that.
So
I believe it all.
Yeah, I do too. I'm bipolar 2 for sure, but also the symptoms of bipolar 2 and ADHD overlap a lot. So, you know.
I guess we're going to be able to just cut just this one part out and you can use that as one of your TikToks.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
But isn't that like a thing that like, I remember you were telling me about like one of the ways I could use TikTok was to like cut like my podcast some sort of way.
Yeah, take long form content and cut it up. Yeah. And there's actually a super easy way to do it now. I don't want a product place unless I know
that's what this podcast is. We do it without the money because we do it in preparation for money. So we name drop on this one. We name drop. Okay,
so
tell us what the product is, sis.
The product is called Munch. So
like that rapper?
Sure.
That N-word of Munch. Oh. He ate it for lunch. Isn't that the song? Am I making that up?
No,
that little girl?
That's correct. That's Ice Spice, I believe.
She got an app?
No.
You just said she had an app called Munch.
The name of the app is Munch, but I didn't say it was hers. You made that up in your brain.
She need to get her chips.
Anyway.
Because they're obviously robbing her. But I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm listening.
So Munch, you can take long form content. You can either upload the whole video or you can give a YouTube link and it will use AI to break down which clips are the most, can be the best ones basically. And it'll even caption them. They'll provide you some copy. I don't advise using AI copy.
No, why not?
Because it sucks. It's terrible.
When you say copy, you mean like the
captions.
The captions?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Don't use AI captions. It looks insane. You can tell that not a person wrote it. So even if you get AI copy, do your due diligence and go in and edit to make it sound more personal. But it will give you captions. It will give you all the things. It'll even turn it to the 916 dimension, which is right for the platform. Because all that stuff matters. People don't realize how much it matters.
Yeah. So sometimes when you're looking at a video on your phone. So right now we're all on YouTube because that's how we roll. We're primarily, we don't really care about TikTok. We're trying to get there. We're trying to get our numbers up.
All right.
But for the most part, our legion is YouTube. Mm-hmm. So how when on YouTube you're looking at the phone let me do right here. You're looking at it like this, right? You know what I'm saying? But on TikTok, I'm about to blow you kids' minds right now. Chill out for a second.
Okay.
On TikTok, it's like this. So it's like turning a video like this into a video like this, and you got to kind of edit a little square out. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. I don't know. These kids are amazing with what they're able to do. And they watch it on their phone. They watch it on their phone.
Television? Never heard of her.
We don't do that. We all have desktops that take up 1 million watts per gallon.
If it's not a phone or a tablet, I've never known it in my life.
And so that's another question. So it's with the whole TikTok thing, do you need a top of the line phone or can you use just an Android or do you need something specific? Do you recommend anything specific?
There is a lot of discourse about the best phones to use for it. I think iPhones and Androids just have the best kind of cameras. Mm-hmm. I have an iPhone, but I can admit out loud that Androids have really, really good cameras. Mm-hmm. I've seen so much good content on TikTok, on other platforms that come from Androids. Androids have really good cameras.
Well, yeah, I have both, and and people don't believe me. It's my Android camera is way better.
It's way better.
You guys know I'm a photographer. It's the Android camera is way better than the iPhone.
Yeah, and that's listen, it's okay. It's okay to admit it, okay? We like our blue bubbles. Okay. We like to know that we are in community with other iPhone users. The cameras aren't that great, babe, and that's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay.
They would have been great if they were Android cameras 5 years ago. This would have been amazing.
Yes.
This would have been the greatest Android camera ever 5 years ago.
No, but Android said, you know what? We can't have the crazy notoriety, but we will step our cookies up with this camera.
Now, so there's the Android and iPhone debate, but then also like the idea that some people, they don't have like the flagship phones, you know, or they might have a phone from a few years ago. Can you still use TikTok to your knowledge on older phones or lower spec phones?
I think it's a little bit harder just because TikTok has a lot of moving pieces, and if you don't have the processing speed for it, it's gonna mess your phone up. I would say if you still want to create content, don't let that be a hindrance. Still create. Don't let the lack of technology stop you from doing it, but do be prepared for some hardship with it, because at the end of the day, capitalism is capitalism. Didn't mean to make it political, but all these industries are hand in hand with each other. Like, we know that content creation is the big bag right now. Everybody wants to do it to make money. So to do that, everybody's pushing the narrative. You need the newest, best phone to do it. So, you know, that's always something to consider as well. And
now I'm going to ask you a question about sort of kind of folks like myself who are going to be coming at TikTok from like the other end. I only have like maybe 6 TikToks that I posted, and the 2 that did the best, none of them I recorded with a phone. One I recorded with a camcorder, and the other I edited on Final Cut.
And you can do that too. You don't necessarily have to do it all in phone. Some people, I follow quite a few creators who record on a camera and then add it, like, because some of the stuff, the quality is just insane. And I'm like, I know you didn't record that on the phone. Let's be for real. Some people did, but a lot of people do use cameras and just prefer the editing on a computer. Honestly, that's how I prefer to edit. Like, I know how to use it. And then because I'm a social media manager and I have to create content for other people sometimes, it's just quick. So I have to learn the skill. But me personally, I like getting on my Mac and going crazy and editing that way, because I can do a lot more, I feel like, that way.
Yeah. And so I just want to point out, like, we're both Mac people, apparently. I'm sort of, I guess you guys noticed already, I'm sort of agnostic. I don't use Linux anymore, but I'm a Windows person and a Mac person. I will say video editing on a Mac beats the hell out of video editing on a Windows computer. Beats the hell out of it.
Yeah, it does.
Like a cheap Mac or relatively cheap Mac versus a Windows computer of the same price does not even exist. You can't even edit video on those things.
And I would say people don't learn the skill using iMovie, because when you use iMovie, it's not that difficult to transition into other editing softwares. Yeah. Learn iMovie. It's the easiest one you're going to learn. I'm self-taught on iMovie. When I first started making YouTube videos, I was editing in iMovie. I didn't know how to do nothing. And what did I do? I got on Google, because I'm nosy in that respect. I need to know everything. Don't tell me your business. I don't want to know that. People be telling me your business anyway. But anyway, ADHD, see how that works? But
I don't know what just happened. I have no idea what just happened.
I barely have any idea either. I'm going to be honest with you. But
iMovie. We were talking about iMovie.
It's easy. Use iMovie to learn and then continue to upskill is the big point of it all.
Yeah, and so that's one of the biggest things that we are about on this podcast is work with what you got. Then when you start to fill the limits, the periphery, it's like, okay, this is not acceptable for me anymore. Then you can upgrade. Or if you're coming from the other side, you can use your fancy equipment if you got it. You could do either one. TikTok's for the people.
TikTok is for the people, and there's no right or wrong way to do it. There's no right or wrong way. Just do it.
And so you mentioned that you started off with YouTube. Do you still work on your YouTube page?
I am planning to go back to working on my YouTube page.
She abandoned YouTube for TikTok. I just see my subscriber count dropping. It's like, why is this woman on here? We're heavy. We're all YouTube all day, but we're trying to branch out to TikTok.
Listen.
So we're gonna meet her. We're gonna meet halfway.
John, don't play with me. Talking about your subscribers are gonna drop. I'm gonna bring your subscribers up.
Yes, she will. That's why I have her on here. That thumbnail gonna be popping. They were like, ooh, let me click that. That click through rate going through the roof.
Please. But no, I would say there's definitely no right or wrong way to do it. Just do it. If you want to create, do it. If you don't know what to make something. Because I find that a lot of people, they say, I want to be a content creator. I want to do it. I just don't know what to do. Do anything. Try something. I'm a person with varied interests. So there's a little bit of all parts of me on my TikTok. I don't niche down. It stresses me out. Is that another word we're going to have to talk about?
Yeah,
okay.
Niche down. But you can finish. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's fine. But now I remembered it because we caught it in a moment. You see how that goes? But I just present all pieces and parts of myself because there's no one part of me that makes me me. Like, when we're talking about me as a whole human, I'm great because I have so many varied interests that I've learned about and incorporate into my daily life. So I don't shield those parts, for the sake of whatever.
All right. I can dig it. And so that's a common thread that you have with a lot of your stuff is like the idea of authenticity, stuff that's actually of interest to you that comes from your soul. But then you mentioned this concept of niche down.
Yeah. So niche.
Well, don't say it wrong because we say it wrong, we might get banned.
I don't care. People say niche.
She doesn't care if we get banned on my page.
Niche.
I thought you were going to say niche.
It's not like it's a cuss word.
I thought you were going to say niche-er.
Please.
No.
Okay, so when we're talking about niching or niching down content, it means creating something very specifically. So when people have business pages,
so like a podcast about podcasts. Where you only interview people who podcast.
That's very niche, actually.
We've been niching down since day one.
You're doing a great job.
but you're okay. I'm sorry. What's niche? Okay, let's start from the beginning. What is niching down?
Right. So some people are beauty content creators, and that's the only thing that they create. That's a niche.
Yeah.
Or a niche, whatever you want to call it, baby. People who create lifestyle content. People who create family content, those are all different niches.
Yeah.
So some people lock into one of those, and that's how you end up with those weird family pages on YouTube. I have my feelings on that. But some people niche down and they're very successful, but now we're also in this space, in this area of social media where people are like, I'm the niche. Every part of me and every part of who I am as a person is the niche. So I'm not going to, live in this one particular bubble. I love that so much.
And so, I'm gonna sort of hijack the conversation for a while. I used to be, some of you guys know, I used to be a successful video game YouTuber. Used to be one of those guys. And one of the things that happened is when I started doing comedy is I deleted all of my video game content. I just and then I even started a new page, and I don't even use the video game page anymore. But I deleted everything. But what people have been telling me I should have did is like, no. You just start making the other content, and then people who mess with you, they mess with you. They're gonna stick. They might like it more. They might go, wow, this guy also does comedy. Wow, this guy. Oh, wow, this guy also goes to the ASPCA. What's the name of the place where the dogs be at?
LASPCA.
I like to go to the ASPCA and just play with dogs because I'm allergic, but it's way better because they have a way better selection of dogs there. And so, in theory, that's what my page should be. It should be me playing video games, me playing with dogs I don't own, and me talking about comedy and podcasts.
I'm really mad at you right now. I'm not gonna lie.
You want to go? We could. They used to be open on Sundays. I don't know if they're open on Sundays anymore.
No, I'm not even talking about it. I'm talking about the fact that you deleted all your other content. That's what I'm hot about. When did you do this?
2019.
Okay, I'll allow it because I barely knew you then.
Okay, well, yeah, and it was a mistake. It was even more so a mistake on Instagram, doing it on Instagram because Instagram, and this was. And then since then I've gotten back into video games, so it's insane. It's like, okay. Yeah, you
take what you have and you branch it over, and your friends were absolutely right. If people like you, they like you. They'll follow you wherever you go.
Some of y'all from the old school. Y'all remember the old school.
Okay. Because that was even something I struggled with when I was earlier in my content career. I was like, do I need to make separate pages for all these things? And actually, there was somebody in my comments who was like, no, we want to see all parts of you. Like, we want to see it all. I was like, I'm a little bit of a mess. I'm a little bit chaotic. They were like, we love it. So do it. So that's just what I do. If I feel like, I'm not You know what? I'm not even going to say that I'm not an advocate for crying on the internet, because I believe if you're having a bad day and you just need to talk about it, talk about it. Cry it out.
Cry it out.
Cry it out. People are like, oh, you're crying for the internet. Listen, maybe I don't have nobody else to talk to right now. Maybe I don't feel like anybody else is going to understand. We have to, as a people, give a lot more grace to let people express how they feel like they need to express in the moment. You really sat up there and set a camera in front of your face before you cried? Yes. That's exactly what I did. And what about it? Are you going to fight me? Ooh. Okay, then shut up.
I don't recommend that because I got her back.
I also don't fight, please.
What? I was lying because I don't fight either.
Okay, exactly.
I was just trying to sound bad for the camera.
I don't fight. I don't do that. I'm too smart for that.
What?
I'm too smart to fight.
Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, so we've talked about your YouTubing. Mm-hmm. We've talked about your TikToking. Mm-hmm. What are some other social media, I don't know if they're called networks, apps? Is there anything else on the horizon? Or what are the kids getting down on these days? They're on the Reddits?
No, the kids are not on the Reddit.
They're on the 4chans?
The kids are on a lot of different
Friendster.
things.
They on Friendster? MySpace? What are the kids using these days?
So Twitch is actually a big one for the kids.
The video game one?
Yeah, but because people aren't necessarily using it only for video gaming. Some people just use it just to use it. Some people just say, I'm going to stream. And that has happened because everybody has their own systems to monetize.
Yeah.
Twitch is like a little bit more lucrative in that way because, you know, Instagram has live streaming, but Instagram also doesn't have an in-platform way to now get revenue. Like, you can't monetize.
YouTube has like tips or whatever.
Yes. Like YouTube
Twitch have
has, say again?
Like YouTube has where you can like send people tips or you can subscribe and you can send them little $5, $10 tips.
Yeah.
Does Twitch have stuff like that?
Twitch has that. Should never delete your shit. Sorry. Am I not supposed to cuss on here?
No, you can cuss. Okay, I know. Cool. It was just the fact that you're trying to get us into all these. You're trying to get us to cheat on YouTube, and we don't appreciate that.
I'm not trying to get you to cheat on YouTube, but here's the thing. There is this great, amazing app that's called StreamYard that will allow you to stream to multiple apps at the same time. Get StreamYard. Then you can be streaming to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, all the places at one time, and then you have tips coming in from all those places. And while you're on StreamYard, it'll also be feeding you the comments, so you can address them too.
We never really go live, but one day we're gonna try it.
You should.
What are the advantages of doing a live stream versus posting a video?
I like live stream because it gives you a chance to interact in real time. It just really, the thing is, people really sleep on the power of parasocial relationships. You get on the internet, parasocial relationships. I feel like we are
a very inclusive page. We're with all sorts of relationships. I don't know why. Yeah, we don't know what parasocial means, but we are with it. We will do parasocial right here on this table if need be.
We will not do anything on this table.
Whatever parasocial is, I'm down with it.
Parasocial relationships. Oh my God. Parasocial relationships are relationships that a creator builds with their audience through their content. So when I create content, like, I give a little bit of my life, but I don't give everything. They don't know every nook and cranny of what's happening with me, but they know enough that they feel like, oh, I can keep up with this plot. And so sometimes they'll be like, girl, what's the update? What happened? Tell us what's next, you know? And so that's the parasocial relationship where you're like, they feel like they're your friends.
So it's sort of like a bi-directional relationship where it goes both ways, and we're down with that.
Yeah, shut up. But yeah, I like live streams because of that. Because you get a chance to just talk to people, and then because of I haven't gone live on YouTube, but I know on TikTok when you go live, it sends to multiple people. It'll pop up in their FYP. So that's another chance for you to build audience, because if people like what you're talking about, then you'll get follows. Then, you know, you'll build audience that way.
Yeah, because they do sort of, we call it like the algorithm, so to speak. They do sort of push the lives. I saw this lady I went to junior high with walking around in her underwear one time. And I was just on TikTok, and TikTok was like, "Hey, do you want to see this person?" I was like, "That name seems familiar." And it was a lady I went to junior high school when she was walking around in her underwear. I think she was eating Lay's potato chips. It was weirdly hot. It was Parasocial. I enjoyed it.
Sometimes I just learn things about you that I never intended to know.
That I watch TikTok?
No, never mind. So now we know that John likes to watch ladies in their drawers eating Lay's potato chips.
No, my favorite is watching a fully dressed woman put on makeup.
Mine too.
Like a woman in like a full pantsuit. Like, okay, picture this. Kamala Harris, right? She's just got elected as president. She's about to do they call it the inauguration. And since it's inauguration, you know she's going to be dressed to the nines. It's going to be the flyest pink and green jumpsuit, pantsuit you ever seen in your life.
Pink and green.
With white pearls and a white mink coat. She's going to look like a pimp from the 70s. It'd be great. But now picture this. It's 4 hours before the inauguration. She's got her Fendi makeup all in front of her. That's the name of the brand?
Fenty.
She got her Fenty makeup because she supports black businesses. She's got her Fenty makeup in front of her, right? And she's looking in the mirror in the Oval Office, and she just starts putting on the Fenty lipstick and eyeliner. Tell me that's not hot. Okay, I'm sorry, detour. That will be the hot. That's gonna be the hot. I'm gonna think about that for the rest of my life. I can't wait for this woman to win presidency.
Those videos have a very specific name. They're called "Get Ready with Me's."
Lord.
When people
wait,
that is
an actual thing that exists?
I used to do Get Ready with Me's for a hot minute.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ. I would be like, this is what I'm wearing today, this is how I'm gonna put it together, da 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 da, and people would see me, not the whole shebang, because of course you cut it up, you spice it up, but they would literally watch me from, robe to fully dressed to fully made up to hair done, and I'm out the door.
So you be like in your fancy clothes putting on makeup?
I don't be no. You put on your clothes after the makeup. Or if you have on the clothes, you have to cover them up because
I don't know how makeup works.
Messy.
I realize now I get why I'm single. Because I've been making requests to these women, it just doesn't make any sense.
What requests have you been making? I feel like we're getting so off track, but let's go with it.
No, we're not going to stick with this thread.
Okay, cool.
But we learned, I would say that makeup, parasocial porn, that is definitely niching down. It's definitely niching down.
I didn't say that. I didn't say parasocial porn. I don't want that. You said parasocial porn.
I did. I just repeated you saying it. I said it. You told me about this new genre of adult film. Is adult film better? Parasocial adult film?
No, because you made that up just now.
You told me it was already a genre.
Relationship.
What relationship? Anyway. So you were telling me about the new things on the horizon. What was it? What's this one? It's Snappy Chatty.
Snapchat?
Yeah.
Snapchat is nothing new.
But I've been hearing about I don't know. I don't have it.
Snapchat has been Snapchat. Sound like a real adult. Snapchat has been around for a long time. Since maybe the mid 2010s or maybe right before that.
But it
is
popping?
Popping for some people.
All right.
Absolutely. It's not something that I use very often anymore, but it is something that I did actively, especially when I was in New York. I used Snapchat a lot. But I will say that a lot of the apps are just amalgamations of each other at this point.
Yeah, they all seem the same now.
Right, because Snap was really revolutionary because the content that you posted only lasted 24 hours, then it was gone.
I'm not interested in that.
And then Instagram released the story option where same thing happens. Now... it's relatively new to TikTok, but now they also have that feature.
Oh, so they all sort of cannibalize features from each other.
Yeah, they're whatever feature makes this app super popular, I'm going to do it, which is what happened with TikTok and Instagram, because TikTok became really popular because of the short form content. Uh-huh. And then next thing you know, Instagram has Reels. Because Instagram used to have the videos, but it was for longer form videos. But now that's completely gone and everything is just fed into Reels. So, yeah.
Yeah. And so that brings me to the question. This is a question I wanted to ask earlier. You're primarily doing a lot of business, a lot of content on TikTok. Mm-hmm. Do you ever repurpose that content and like put it on Instagram?
Absolutely, and you should.
Wow.
You should.
You ever? So I noticed, because I mostly use Instagram, but I notice I'll see people. I know what TikTok is. I've used TikTok before, but I'll notice people have like the little TikTok chyron or whatever you call it, like with their name on it and all their videos. So you always see TikTok stuff on Instagram. Do people ever primarily use Instagram, but then also post it on their TikTok?
Yeah.
So it goes all these different directions. This is cool.
Because there are different audiences on each of these apps. Every app has a very different and specific audience. There's definitely stuff that I've seen on TikTok that I also see on Instagram. Oftentimes, something I saw on TikTok weeks ago, my friends will send me from Instagram, and I'll be like, hilarious. As hilarious as it was 3 weeks ago.
Oh.
But I already saw it because it was on TikTok first. And sometimes it's the same way for Instagram.
All right.
So, yeah. But you should repurpose your content. Absolutely. You should repurpose it for Instagram. Also, if it's under a minute, add it to Shorts. If it's a minute or under, I mean, Shorts by now probably has added more time, because that's what they all do. They start up with a little bit of time, and then they add more and add more and add more to keep themselves competitive. But yeah, put it everywhere. Put it everywhere.
Okay, and this is going to be the last one. I don't know what you got to say about this one.
Okay.
But this is the big one. This is the big one.
All
I
right.
think it's the big one.
All right.
So we use all these platforms. Like I use TikTok, I use YouTube. You use primarily TikTok, but you use all the platforms.
Yeah.
Somebody else might primarily use Instagram. Somebody else might primarily use Twitch. But we're sort of beholden to these companies when we do it that way. One way to defeat that is to diversify. Repost your stuff on different, make content for all the platforms. And don't kill yourself, but whatever you have for YouTube, figure out a way to use that same content on Instagram, TikTok.
Right,
That's one way.
Right.
So, but we're still beholden to the individual companies. One of the things I'm looking at is the idea of like an email list. Is an email list still relevant?
Yes.
Like the idea where I can, let's say if I get shut down on YouTube and now I'm posting on Vimeo, or I'm posting on some website that don't even exist anymore. If I have the direct contact with people through their email, through my email list, I go, hey man, we switching it out.
Absolutely. So if you are a content creator, or if you're creative period and you are trying to build your platform, build your audience, the first thing that you should make is a link tree. And that link tree should have every single place people can find you on the internet should you get banned from TikTok, should your Instagram account get shut down. People need to know where else to find you, and you should have an email list in there as well, so that way you can send out email blasts, whether it's like monthly, quarterly, whatever, however you want to do it, just to keep people up to date on what it is that you're doing. But do not rely solely on these apps, because at the end of the day, these apps can disappear at any moment. But if you've built the audience and that audience is super engaged and they want to know everything that you're doing, give them options. My Linktree has a ton of stuff in it, a ton of stuff. And that's how I want to keep it, because I want people to be able to support me in any way that they feel inclined to. So build the Linktrees, please. Like if you're really talking about, oh, I want to be, let that be the first step. Get you a Linktree up. And there are other ones. They're like Pinsite. I use Pinsite, actually. I don't use Linktree. But there are others that you can use. Or if you're feeling fancy, just go build you a landing page, And you can build a landing page in Canva. Canva Pro is only $12.99 a month, $14.16 after taxes. Build the things, make them. It takes effort, but it's worth it. And we're just in the season of, we got to start betting on ourselves a lot more. We have to build our own stuff. We have to.
You see that we bet on ourselves. You guys remember how this thing started. You remember how it started.
Oh my God,
it started
don't
with
do this.
The Chromebook in the bedroom with the lights, the overhead lights. That's how this whole thing started, with the Chromebook. We didn't have no microphones. We didn't have no lights. We didn't have no cameras. We didn't have no fancy recorder. That's all we had. Look at us now. We were investing in ourselves.
Let me tell y'all, it's 3 cameras. It's the recorder. It's some lights. It's a production.
Oh, they know what I'm about to do. They know what I'm about to show them. I'm about to show them what's really going on out here. What is really going on out here. They about to see. I'm gonna edit this in.
You're gonna edit this in?
Yeah, I'm gonna edit this in so they can see how we living. This is how we living right now.
That's what's happening, y'all.
This is how we living right now.
That's what's happening.
And we doing this all. So if you got the right equipment, you can pretty much set up shop anywhere. We're doing this like we always do, live at a bar. There's an open mic, open table reading going on right next to us, and it doesn't matter because we got the right equipment. We're doing it.
And I will also say one last note, because I know that a lot of people get discouraged about, I can't afford everything. Get what you can.
Yeah.
Amazon has a ton of cameras that are really good quality and are like $150 or less. You can get mics. Like, start somewhere and build up. Don't let not being able to afford the best and fanciest equipment stop you from doing what it is that you're trying to do.
I am glad she said that. So the next time we have her on this podcast, we're going to do it old school. We're going to do it with a phone, a tripod, and lavalier phone
Guerrilla
mics.
content.
We're going to do it.
I love it.
Yeah, and we're going to use whatever natural light we can find. We're going to do it with
that. That's fun.
Next time. Yeah,
next time.
When I come to Texas,
okay.
That's how we're going to do it. The whole podcast setup is going to fit in a fanny pack. That's the promise I make you. The whole setup will fit in the fanny pack.
You really don't need a lot.
I'm not gonna say it's gonna be less than $500 because my phone's more than $500.
Exactly.
But the accessories will be less than $100.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna assume that everybody has a phone, but the accessories will be less than $150. And it's gonna be legit. It's a challenge.
All right.
Challenge
accepted.
Okay, Roxie, tell them your name and tell them where they can find you.
My name is Roxie Wilson. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at ROXIEEWIL. And if you want to follow my business page as well, where I talk a lot about social media and give tips on creating content, you can follow me at RewindSocial_.
So that's all of Roxie's important social media stuff. If you want to have a parasocial relationship with her, all you got to do is sign up for her mailing list, and it's bananas. This has been the Walk the Crowd podcast, a.k.a. the John Reynolds podcast, a.k.a. the podcast about podcasts, a.k.a. the reason why I don't promote this podcast is it does not have a name. Thank you, guys. John Reynolds.